Election season is upon us, and voters may be wondering what options are available to vote this November. There is no better person to answer these questions than the Secretary of State, Steve Simon. I spoke with him this week.
In this time of unprecedented events, this coming fall election has some unprecedented challenges. For example, there's the potential disruptions with the Postal Service. There is a global pandemic, and there's possible foreign interference. Are you worried?
Well, it's my job to be worried. It's my job to game these things out and think about the worst possible scenario. That's what we do, and not just in our office, what our partners at the counties and cities do. So we're in constant contact with one another as teammates. I'm on multiple calls a week, large Zoom calls with county administrators and city clerks and others, thinking through those things. So am I worried? Well, yeah, it's my job to be worried. I would say that having an election, a statewide election in a time of a pandemic, is a big, big challenge. And I think most people who are in this work at the county or city level too, we agree that we have to view this through a public health lens, at least to some extent. And that's what we're doing. And part of it comes down to a math problem, really, to be honest. And the math is this. We've got about 3,000 polling places in Minnesota, and we're expecting about 3 million voters in Minnesota. That may be a cautious or conservative number. That math works out quite easily to 1,000 people per polling place, on average. Very rough average, some places lower, some places higher, but a working average is 1,000 per polling place. And from a public health standpoint, we want to try to get that number down. That would be a good thing, because you're talking about 1,000 people and their droplets circulating in close quarters, tight quarters, over a 13-hour period, 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. Those are the poll hours in Minnesota. I vote at a church a few blocks away from where I'm talking to you. It's in the basement of a church. There is not a lot of room down there to expand or grow or go to other places. So we're trying to get that number down. Balancing with that, everyone's right to vote in the polling place, of course. We are urging people to strongly consider voting from home. It takes 5 minutes maximum at a website, mnvotes.org. And when you go to mnvotes.org, you type in your information and it comes right to you. So that's the primary focus right in front of us, is treating this as a public health event, which it is. You mentioned a lot of things in that question. I'm sure we'll get to them in the podcast, but there are a number.
Because my next question then, you are encouraging absentee ballots. You know, people request their absentee ballot, cast it, then therefore they don't have to go to the polling place. But what impact are these potential problems with the Postal Service going to have on the ability to cast that absentee ballot?
Well, so am I concerned and even outraged by the reports about delays at the Postal Service, things which were avoidable, things which were conscious decisions which resulted in delays? Of course I am. But does that stop me in any way from urging people to vote from home this year, if that's an option that they're comfortable with? No, it does not stop me. It's full steam ahead. And here's why. We have multiple workarounds to accommodate even delays, starting with a message I'll give now, which is folks should go to mnvotes.org even if they think they might vote from home. I say that because that decision is reversible. You can change your mind. So whatever you do, don't wait until late October, because if you do that, you're going to slam people right when they shouldn't get slammed. That's when elections administrators in counties and cities at their absolute wits' end, at their absolute busiest. And in other states during the primary process where they saw real chaos, part of it could be traced to that, people waiting to the last minute. So go to mnvotes.org now. Number two, workaround of postal delays, is once you know your choices, get your ballot in. It's everyone's right to wait until election day, of course, to get that last morsel of information from the day before, the last ad, the last debate. But if you're a person who knows who you're going to vote for a week out or 2 weeks out or 3 weeks out, nothing's going to change your mind, get the ballot in. Third, and this is critical and crucial, this year and this year only, very on brand for 2020, this year and this year only, because of some litigation that resulted in a standing court order, which no one is appealing. All the parties, everyone is agreeing with this, okay? It's no longer the subject of debate. We have a new rule for getting your ballot in. The rule only for this year is it can be postmarked as late as Election Day, November 3rd, as long as it gets in a week later by November 10th. What that means in terms of your question about the mail is there's an automatic 1 week buffer period built in. No matter how late you go, even if you're a procrastinator or you do it at the last possible second, you can have no fewer than 7 days of a buffer between getting that ballot from point A to point B. That is a huge, huge workaround any potential postal delays. Next, I would say, just keep in mind that because you get the ballot by mail doesn't mean you have to return it that way. you are free to hand deliver the ballot to the address that's on the envelope, or you can have someone you know and trust deliver it for you. So there are multiple workarounds. And then another one I forgot, which is we have a feature on our website, mnvotes.org, where you can track your ballot. You don't have to just pop it in and say a little prayer and hope somehow that it gets there. You can know with certainty whether it has. You go to mnvotes.org, you type in your information. I did this myself for the primary, and it will tell you the exact date that it has arrived, and it will tell you in black and white that it is being processed or it has been processed. So those are some of the workarounds we have. Yes, is it unfortunate that there are postal delays? Of course it is. Are some of the reports outrageous? Sure. But is that going to slow down democracy in Minnesota? No, it's not. This is a year during a pandemic when a very safe and effective option, and one that really is in many ways a public service, meaning that everyone who votes from home is making the polling place just a little bit safer for those who choose that option. In this year of all years, it's full steam ahead. People should strongly consider using the mail and voting from home.
Now, you mentioned that you can track your ballot once you send it back in. Let's say you've sent it back in, you're tracking it, it's not showing up, it's not showing up, it's not showing up. What do you do then?
Yeah, and it happens. You know, it's just bound to happen sometimes. There are two options, well, I guess three options, depending on when in the calendar or how soon before Election Day. One is just to order another one and have it come to you, and that is done from time to time. If there isn't enough time, if we're talking like 3 days before the election, 4 days before the election, then there are still two remaining options. In-person absentee. There are two ways to vote absentee. One is to go to mnvotes.org, order the ballot to come to you at home. The other is to drop by either your city hall or a county office. And if you don't know where that place is, go to that same website and it'll tell you. So you can vote in-person absentee on any day up to the day before the election, the Monday before the Tuesday. And then finally, and maybe obviously, even though that might not have been your first choice, you still always have the option of going in and voting on Election Day. So just because you've ordered an absentee ballot doesn't mean you're locked into that choice.
I'm glad you said that, because that actually was one of my questions. You know, if you order an absentee, but you are like me and you really want to go to the polling place, if
Right.
you can, because it's part of the whole experience,
Right.
you know, do you have that option? And the answer is yes, you do have that option.
Absolutely you do. So you can change your mind, or maybe your hand was forced because of the scenario you just laid out. You wanted to vote from home, you mailed it in, and you're pushing refresh constantly to see if it's gotten in and it hasn't, and you just figure, well, I got to go in and do it myself.
One more question, actually two more questions before you go. How is foreign election interference impacting this election? It's not something we've talked about as much as maybe in prior elections, but is it still happening?
So it's still a crucially and critically important issue. Obviously, COVID-19 has kind of blotted out the sun when it comes to coverage and scrutiny and attention, but this is absolutely still an issue. I and a few members of my staff got a confidential intelligence briefing on exactly this subject at the FBI headquarters. We're going to get at least one more before the general election. We are right now undergoing our latest round of penetration testing that the Department of Homeland Security is for exactly this purpose, where they both come into our office and remotely basically test our systems. In essence, try to hack us to find out where the soft spots are. So we've been getting those briefings. We've been acting on their recommendations in terms of what we need to do to harden our systems. So we're very much paying attention to that. But we feel cautiously optimistic about where we are, not only in Minnesota, but as a country.
And then finally, because people will have up to a week after Election Day for their ballot to be counted, and also because you are strongly encouraging people to take advantage of that absentee ballot, how long will it be before we potentially know some of the outcomes of some of these elections?
I'm glad you used the word you just did. You used the word outcomes, and you're one of the first people to do that, and good for you, because I want to distinguish between results and outcomes. So in every state in America this year, election night is going to look a little different than what we're used to, and I just want to make sure everyone understands that going in. So when you see, not if, when you see on election night that you don't have 100% of the results, don't blame your county or your city. Don't assume that someone fell asleep at the switch or fell down on the job. No, this is literally by design of the Minnesota legislature this year in giving more time to count ballots, and by design of the courts in what is now an agreed to, non-appealable court order that I mentioned earlier, which is that we now have Election Day plus 7 days to get the ballots in. So that means by definition, we won't know the final results until 7 days after the Election Day. But you used a key word, which is outcomes. I predict, for what it's worth, that we will know the vast majority of outcomes well before that. We might not know final vote tallies, but outcomes. So we are working hard in our office to get as detailed information as we can absentee ballots. So let me give you a hypothetical. Let's say on election night in a legislative contest, candidate A is ahead of candidate B by 1,000 votes. And we're able to announce either on election night or shortly thereafter that there are in that race 700 absentee ballots left to count, outstanding absentee ballots. Well, you can call that race, right? Candidate A has won. She's ahead by 1,000 votes. There are only 700 votes left to count. Even if they all go for her opponent, mathematically, she is still won. So will we know the result of that election? No, we won't know by how much she's won. Was it a lot? Was it a little? Was it 2 points? Was it 5 points? But we will know the outcome. I think in the vast majority of cases, we will sooner rather than later, if not on election night, shortly thereafter, I don't know what shortly means, but shortly thereafter, we'll have the vast majority of outcomes. We'll know the winners. We won't have to wait a week, I think, in the vast majority of cases.
Secretary of State, Steve Simon, I want to thank you for taking the time.
My pleasure. Thank you.